Hi Flosstube, my name is Alyssa Jones and this is my 5th Flosstube video. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year and that you and all your loved ones have stayed healthy. Today I'm going to show you my current whips that I'm focusing on, my whip go board maybe, my new planner, and some knitting and just a lot of cross stitch. So if you like cross stitch, you're in the right place. All right, so first of all, I didn't fully finish anything new unless it was a gift and I didn't take pictures, and that's just what happened. I don't know, I forgot. But I did finish stitching something, and this, I think I finished right on New Year's Day. Hold on, I have a planner. I can look these things up because I wrote them down, which is part of the fun, right? I finished this on New Year's Day. So I had done the Merry Chockful by Hands On Design and Priscilla Blain, and I was really happy with how this turned out. I had been working on this one at lunch for months, and I don't get a very long time to stitch on it, so that finally got done. It took me, I think, 2 days to do all the blue on the jar. It took quite a while. And then I even finished the small. However, Christmas is over, and these are probably just going to go live in the box of shame until next holiday season when I make myself fully finish them. And that's all that I have completed in the stitching world. I did decide to do Whip Go this year. I planned it last year and started it and had gotten off to a really good start, but I put way too many big finishes on there. And for those of you who don't know what Whip Go is, a whip in cross stitch is a work in progress, and Whip Go is run by Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and it's a way to just kind of encourage you to work on your projects and get them ready to get them done. And putting big finishes on mine, maybe it's because I have so many large projects, is just overwhelming and it takes over my whole world. So in a way to keep it joyful, I put my whip go board on this little tiny piece of paper this year, and I put all of my whips on there, and I accidentally put Kringles on there 2 times. Oops. But my goal is that for each number that gets called, so there were 3 called this month, I circle the number that's been called, and once it's been called, I try to work on it 5 days. And I have to work on it for at least 1 hour for it to count as a day, because sometimes I don't get more stitching time than that. And so you can see that already I have my 3 circled projects, and that I've already made some little check marks here. So that project, I almost get to X out already. Super fun though. And I'm just gonna put that right inside my stitching planner. And so you'll see that whip as we go through. So my whips that I worked on in December, this one is the Farmhouse Christmas series. And I am currently working on Grandpa's Pickup, which is one of my favorites because of the truck. And I got the border, and I started the house, and I started the truck. This I have all on one piece of mystery linen that's really nice and thick. I like how this linen feels. And so that's the 3rd part of that series. I love the ones that have the buffalo plaid on them though, because there's something about stitching that just makes me really happy. But the truck helped make up for that square not having any. So that was one of my December whips. And then I spent a little more time on Celebrate Christmas by Madame Chantilly. And this one, oh, it's got thread all over it. I'm apparently mid-stitch. I kind of remember last time I was working on this, I got really tired. Probably very late at night, like 8:30. And you can see that I've got the robin completely done. And I started the tree and worked on those leaves. This is on 40 Count Winter's Brew by R&R Reproductions, which is also a really lovely linen to work on. I like how it feels. And I'm doing that with 1 thread over 2. I've heard about this one stitcher who I have not yet found her floss tube that does very, very tiny stitching. I can't imagine. I actually ordered some readers this week just in case I start to not be able to see things, because there's a couple projects that have been more difficult. I had finished Luminaria Lane as part of the White Christmas series by Hands On Design, and I started the next one, which is Christmas Eve. And when I started this one, I don't know what was happening. I picked this tiny little scrap of linen and I didn't measure very well, so it's super close to this side of the linen. But I got a nice little start on the church top. So that's getting there. These do stitch up pretty quickly. Then, sorry about the zippers if you don't like that. I'm just afraid I'm gonna lose things, and I was stitching this morning and I threw a needle while unpicking things, and so now I'm just being extra careful because there's nothing like the panic of knowing there's a needle floating through the house. I did find it. However, I don't want to do it again. I also worked on Jack Frost's tree farm. I'm currently on the block that's called Balsam Fir, which is, if you watch my previous videos, the type of tree that Kringle is. He is still up and he's doing fine. His needles aren't off, but the ornaments are off, so he's just a naked white tree again. So I got a little bit done on that one, not very much. I got the border and started the top little bit. I think I had finished the middle square last time I filmed. Now I don't remember because it was weeks ago and holidays happened. So I've got that one started and I can't wait to fill it in. And there's only 3 more of those. So I did try to start setting some 2021 goals, and I put finishing this one on there because it would be so nice to have this done for next winter. It's a little lofty though because I get distracted. I worked on Basketful of Wintertime by With Thy Needle and Thread some more too. This one I really enjoyed the day that I was working on it. Something about it. Last time I only had a little bit of, I had the snowflakes and a little bit of tree done, and now you can see I've started the basket and the roof, finished the trees, got a little bit of reindeer on there, and the little moon. It's so sweet. This is on, it feels like a 40 count. I'm doing it with 1 thread over 1. No idea though what linen it is. Could be anything from my stash. And then, okay, so those were my big whips that I worked on. I had a new start too because I finished the Merry Chalkful. I immediately started Snowy Chalkful by Hands On Design and Priscilla Blain. And this I'm doing on a 32 count linen, 2 over 2. It must be chalkboard. I want to say that it's, I think it's Zweigart or Wischel. I don't know. One of those. It's nothing terribly fancy. It's not a hand-dyed fabric. But off to a good start. He is one of my focus pieces for January. I'd like to get this one done and displayed because the next one in the series is hip hop, and then I would have like 2 months to have that done before I start spring decorating, which would feel really good. And then I'm on to my focus pieces. So I've been working on my Scary Apothecary, which is on my whip go board. I had only stitched 1 of these of the series, and I own all the patterns. So I had only done Bat Bomb, and I love this one because it's got a little bit of sparkle in it. See, there's some sparkle. And so the next one in the series that I started is called Bitter Brew. And this is a significant amount of stitching right there. So I started that one, and I've done 4 hours about. I don't actually overly measure. I just make sure I work for at least an hour. And that's how far I've gotten. And I did discover that I didn't have all the Kreinik braids for this pattern that I needed. I guess I had assumed that they all used the same ones, and they don't. So I've ordered some braid, and there's a couple other things in the package so that the braid doesn't get lonely on its way here. So that order was placed through 1, 2, 3 Stitch yesterday when I realized the problem. So hopefully that arrives quickly, and maybe I'll get that one done. So by putting that on my whip go board, it's already gotten more work on it than it would have, and I'm enjoying it more, which is kind of my hope for my whip go board, that I get these projects out and remember how much I love them, and then I want to work on them. one of my first calls this month for WIPCO, which I haven't worked on and I haven't shown before, is Shores of Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. This is a doozy. And I had stitched the first and the second block, and then I have this block started. I went down there because it had a color I needed for a stitching challenge I was trying to do once. I've decided I've kind of given up on stitching challenges for a while because they cause me to do crazy things like go out of order on Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. And this is on a 40 count fabric that I do not know the name of. I know I bought it at a Stitcher's Garden in Syracuse, New York, which is an adorable little cross-stitch store that's in this old canal barn. Definitely worth visiting. But I have the first and the second, and then the third is or it's probably actually the fifth is started. And so I will be spending 5 days on that this month, at least 5 hours, and maybe we'll see some progress and I'll love it and want to keep working on it. But that is a doozy of a project. That's gonna take me 20 more years, and I'll need advanced magnification readers by then. Then I have one more WIPCO project because this month there were 3 draws. There will only be 2 from now on, and that is Hedgerow Birds by Blackbird Designs. And this is like a project bag you make, and then it has an alphabet sampler in the back. And getting this out was really good because I didn't remember how much I had done. And so I pulled it out and I have almost the whole front done. And this is a really thick fabric. I think it's like a 22 count. And you use 3 strands over 2. So it feels like you're using a ton of floss. So I'm hoping when I start working on this one for the 5 days this month that I'm able to finish the front page. Because you can see it's just a little bit of border and a bird. I don't think I'll put a year on. That just is tempting fate too much. And then maybe I'll get to start the back too, which is also quite lovely. So that's all done with called for colors. So those are my WIPCO plans. And then just today, I decided that another project I really wanted to work on more was my Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. And I've shown this before. I haven't gotten any further, but I've gotten all the way through wrapping presents, and I just started the G in gingerbread. And my plan for this month is to finish the word gingerbread and the little gingerbread men under him. So this is on Mystery Linen. And if I do like one word piece and a picture, I could have this done in no time at all. Like I think I counted only 7 left of like the phrase and the little icon that goes with it. And so 7 months, that puts me having this done for next Christmas. So I liked that idea and I added that to my yearly goals. Then, since my last video, I did finish my Merry Grunge Miss vanilla socks patterned by the Crazy Sock Lady. And these I knit on size 2 9-inch circular needles. My first pair of socks ever. I just love them. They're very bulky and chunky. It was a thick, heavy yarn, and I used the number 2s, but they're great for wearing around the house and maybe in some boots if you needed to really keep your feet warm. I don't think I could wear these all day in any other shoes though, because your feet would sweat. So because those got done, I obviously had to start a new sock. And I know I'd planned to do different color heels, but I turned the heel last night and I didn't feel like changing yarn colors, and I loved how this was looking in stripes. So this is my 12 Days of Christmas sock by Timber Yarns. And you can see that I've turned the heel. It's a slip stitch heel. This is just a vanilla sock patterned by the Crazy Sock Lady. And it's little tiny circle needles. These are size 1. I'm hoping the sock fits now that I've gone down a size, and I stayed with the size small on the pattern. And I'm very happy with those. They're so sweet and so much fun to work on. I had tried to finish the sock last night, but I was all the way down here when I started yesterday. So I did the whole heel section, and there was just no way I was going to get any further than that. But I was really excited to get a little bit further on that. And then my last project don't know if I have a picture that is not pattern. I should. I signed up for Stephen West's Hiberknitalong, and I chose the Hiberknitalong shawl, or the Winter Lights shawl. So you can see that there. You can buy this pattern from Stephen West on his Ravelry site, and probably other places too, but that's where I bought it. And I did start it, this Hiberknitalong started on December 26th, and it's been really fun knitting. I have done some things I've never done before knitting, like an I-cord cast on and some color work using a slip stitch, and I completed section 1 and 2 of the Hiberknitalong. And my goal this week is to start and finish section 3. It's not a very big section. But, oh, it's so fun. My yarn I'm using is from Michaels, and it's their Wool-like Similane. It's just acrylic. I bought this the day that the stitch along started, and I just ran in. This is very affordable yarn. I think I spent with my coupon about $8 to make the whole shawl, and I was just worried because this is new knitting for me. I didn't want to spend a fortune on yarn when I wasn't sure I'd even like the project at all. And so I love it, but I chose a color scheme of grays with black. So that's going to be my shawl. I'm pretty excited. The next section I get to use the blue. So far I've only used the 2 grays. But I'm hoping it's lovely and that I'll enjoy wearing it, and it'll help keep me warm when I'm at work. So those are all the things I've worked on and plan to work on. I showed you my Whip Go board, which I plan on sticking into my new journal. So this is my new project journal for the year. It's a Harry Potter themed one, and it's turned out to be quite lovely. You can see I started setting some yearly goals. We'll see what happens. And then each month is tabbed, and I've made some monthly goals, and I added my reading list. And then each day of the month I write down what I work on, and you can see like my Whip Goes are here, and I can cross off the days that I work on them, so I know when I finished that. And my knitting goals are on here, starts and finishes, just kind of keep track. I just love to keep track of things like this, and keeping track of my crafting nonsense makes me really happy. It could be related to the teacher part of me that likes to plan. And then you can see that I started this week with a little bitter brew. So my goal, my hope is that I work on enough stuff in the next 2 weeks to have another floss tube ready for you. And we'll see how it all goes. I've set some lofty goals, but I don't have grad school anymore, so maybe I'll have time to work on those goals. I really just this year want to enjoy our crafting time and really just work on what I want. I have some more new starts that I have tucked in the side of my bin here that I study often and think about kitting up or starting, but right now I feel good about what I have going on here. And that's it. So I hope everyone stays healthy. Enjoy your beginning of the year. I'm loving watching all of your whip parades and hearing about everybody else's goals for the year. I think that's it. Happy New Year, everyone. Bye.